can't step aside. Look, check those clicks. Put your hands up. Put your hands, everybody. Put your hands up. Put your hands. Put your hands. Put your hands. Put your hands. Put your hands up.
Click it or quit it. That was the motto of the Hip House. A house filled with social media influencers who spent all day, every day, recording themselves on their cell phones so that people would click on their videos and then they would get advertising revenue from all the clicks. It was their life. Clicks. Group photo! This was being yelled through walkie-talkies by the ringleader, Chubbs, who was the eldest of the crew. They were mostly famous for their dance videos, which had become increasingly extravagant. They lived through TikTok and had become a household name to people under the age of 16. First into the room, ready for some posing and clicking, was Madison, another mega-famous TikTok personality who was a musician. And by musician, we mean lip-syncer and sampler of songs she did not create. Dix, Chubbs' younger brother, another mega-famous TikTok personality who had just begun a promising acting career. And by promising, he was in Sliced, a new Scream ripoff starring Jennifer Love Hewitt. Yes, it was loosely connected to I Know What You Did Last Summer. No, I won't spoil how. Walking down the stairs now is Hooray. Yes, Hooray. Hooray is, yes, a mega-famous TikTok personality who is always trying to invent new catchphrases that can get swallowed up, either ironically or unironically, through the masses. Coming in last to the mammoth, overly designed, way too slick and sleek living room is Hax. Hax is the comedian of the group. Self-appointed comedian. And by comedian, we mean he makes memes. These were 5 of the most famous TikTok people in the entire world, all living under the same roof. Like, subscribe, follow, share. Be a slave to these 5 and let them guide you through the self-inflicted malaise of your own human experience. Say what you will about them, and you can say a lot, but what they were doing was working. They were millionaires. That's right, millionaires. They had solved the ever-mystifying algorithm, the Rockefellers of the new currency known as social media. They cracked the code, broke the bank. They were winning. This group photo, the one currently being taken of them puffing their lips out in the same way with various poses, it would get 1 million likes within 5 minutes. If you had kids, they knew and maybe even loved the Hip House. If you've seen a movie lately and thought, why did they cast that one young person who didn't seem to have any acting training whatsoever? Clicks. That's why. These 5 folks considered themselves fluid in every way. They would cling to whatever trend was trending in hopes of using their chameleon reflexes to blend in and suck off the most profitable nipple of the day, or week, or moment. Once sucked dry, they would fly off to the next shining flower, only to desecrate that as well. They tried to promote themselves as charitable, philanthropic, entrepreneurial. If there was a cause, they would be there to snap a photo, post it, and let the clicks reign supreme. We need to figure out what our lunch dance is going to be, y'all. This was Chubbs yelling, with a southern drawl that did not connect in any way to where they grew up, which was Delaware. Madison shot her hand up first. Brittany, she's got that new movie coming out about her life. It's a no-brainer. No-brainer. How apropos. Dix chimed in with his standard retort of, that's what's up. Hooray was not paying attention. He was posing for another selfie while lighting a fart on fire. Hack saw the fart fire and scolded him. Hooray, come on, bro. You can't post that. Hooray came back at him with, I know it's for later. Chill, bro. Chubb stood up, so proud of his worker bees, declaring, Brittany it is. Let's meet back here in an hour after yoga and start choreography. They all clapped simultaneously. This seemed to be their way of connecting. And then they all walked in different directions. The fact that they could all walk in different directions gives some sense of how monstrously big this mansion was that they could all call home. They had help. They had a personal trainer named Chef. They had a personal chef named Rain. Yes, the chef is Rain and the trainer is Chef. They had a full-time maid, Esperanza. They had 2 full-time cinematographers who were on call 24/7 to provide extra angles for any spontaneous video or dance routines. It didn't matter that they lived an hour away and traffic was usually atrocious. These two cinematographers, Martin and Spike, had received their masters from USC Film School, which got them here. The last person on staff was the caretaker, Holmes. He was the only person over the age of 30, and he was north of 60. To them, 60 was 100. They loved Holmes because he was an actual adult who had a British accent and made sure the house was taken care of at all times. Plus, they could call him Holmes, which they thought was very cool. Beyond that, they had managers, agents, publicists, but they all existed outside of the Hip House. Those who lived beyond the walls of Hip House had no idea how lucky they were. Did somebody order a baby?
Count bills, making moves, now we coming. Yeah. House beats, hip hop, streets we run. It's coming quick, cash flow, stack high. Dancing on the floor, vibe to the sky. Get clicks, get paid, we make it rain. House, hip hop, fans all in the same. Living large, spot like never fade. Making money moves every day.
That was what Hack said into the walkie-talkie after opening the huge front door. He got an array of confused responses, after which he tried to escalate the response by emphasizing, "There's a kid at our front door!" The other four had to stop what they were doing. Chubbs had to stop shadowboxing. Madison had to stop doing yoga poses. Dix had to stop his Instagram live. Hooray had to stop sipping his smoothie. All of them walked towards the front door, perplexed. Hax was right. There was a child no more than 5 years old standing outside the door, alone. "Oh my God, he's a door!" That was Madison's reaction, but everyone was thinking it. The adorable little boy was wearing overalls and looked ready to be the new spokeschild for every child product in America. Cute as a button, but why was he here? "Yo, Holmes, did you order a kid, yo?" That was Dix's question to Holmes, who walked in next, even more confused than the Hip House Five. "Excuse me, son, are you lost?" The child gulped. He seemed sad. His eyes watered, and then he nodded. There was a collective loud "Aww," followed by, "Can we keep him?" What to do with the baby? The five were having a meeting. This was serious business. For them. They had to figure out what to do with this child in need, while live streaming the entire event. Martin and Spike were providing extra coverage for this moment, as they all put on their most serious faces. They used this as a moment to speak about child poverty, the wealth gap, lost children of America, all the causes that were so near and dear to the algorithm of virtue signaling. Holmes interjected. "Should we call the cops?" Chubbs raised both of their hands. "Sorry, Holmes, do you trust the police with this child? I do not." Madison clapped while turning to the nearest camera so that she could be seen clapping loudly. Everyone was nodding and applauding Chubbs for taking a stand against Holmes calling the police. This would be their breakout moment of the day. Standing up for the little man. Oh my God, that's it! Hashtag stand up for the little man! Hooray's head nearly exploded after unleashing that hashtag. Everyone was hooting and hollering in support. This could be big. But first we have to do our lunch dance. Holmes, can you watch the baby? Lunch dance went swimmingly. The Hip House Five all did their goofy poses and synchronized movements. Martin and Spike did the editing. It went live by 3 p.m. Another successful lunch dance, which meant Holmes had been in charge of sitting with the child for 3 hours, trying to ascertain any kind of answers. They sat outside in the huge backyard by the pool. Holmes tried to playfully ask the child questions, but the child remained silent. Rain made the child a grilled cheese, which he did not eat. Holmes grew concerned. The child didn't even drink water. The Hip House Five emerged in their swimwear, ready to tear up the pool and jacuzzi until they saw the kid, and Madison yelled out, "Oh my God, the kid!" "I knew I forgot something," Chubbs added. Holmes stood up, trying to be the grown-up, which was his job. "We have to call the police. This child is lost. Its parents are probably worried sick." Hax walked out by the pool, flexing as he talked back to Holmes. "Yo, Holmes, I love you, bro, but this kid needs us. What kind of parents would let their kid get lost?" Dix chimed in with, "That was, Chubbs came in off the top rope by adding, What kind of parents would let their child get lost in the hills of Hollywood, right? Martin, did you record me saying that? Should I do that again? Holmes was getting upset. This is not up for debate. We have to get this child help. Madison was appalled. Oh my God, Holmes, you are being super aggressive right now and I feel threatened. Maybe you should take the rest of the day off. I stand with her, Chubbs exclaimed while flexing. Holmes, furious, tried to collect himself, turning back to the child and softly whispered, "I'm sorry, little one." Then he stomped away into the house, shutting the back door behind him in a huff. There was a very long silence. Nobody could remember the last time they had to make an important decision without the help of Holmes. Finally, Madison spoke up. "Do you think it dances?"
Click, click, stack it up, no need for alibis. You watch me rise, yeah, I'm the enterprise. Haters gonna hate, but they ain't wise. Get rich, get fame, I just play the game. Click, click, so slick, I on my own lane. Rise high, touch the sky, make my motto lie. Money, fame, all the same, watch me as I fly.
Dance Baby did not go as planned. The Hip House 5 thought they could get the child to dance with them and release adorable dance videos of the adorable child dancing to make themselves seem more adorable, but instead the kid just sat there looking adorable and confused. After about an hour, they gave up and sat back down around the pool, catching their breath and drinking Hydrox, their new sports drink, which supposedly had the most gluten-free electrolytes out of any sports drink in Western Los Angeles. "I thought kids liked dancing," said Hax. "Don't be so presumptive," retorted Madison. "This child was clearly not raised in a supportive household. We must nurture it with nourishment." Madison turned, making sure that was recorded, and then puffed her lips. "It's getting late, y'all," said Chubbs. "We should feed it." "I tried," Rain said. "Kid didn't want anything." "Oh my God, you guys, what if it has an allergy we're unaware of?" Madison was nervous that it could have an allergy. "Where's it going to sleep?" Chubbs was disgusted at Hooray's question. "Oh my God, Hooray, we have 6 guest rooms for a reason. This child will sleep in luxury, right, little one?" Chubbs smiled at the child. The child smiled. Chubbs started jumping up and down. "I got it to smile! I got it to smile! Oh my God, where the hell is Martin and Spike? God damn it, son of a bitch, whore-ass face!" Choosing a bedtime song was gonna need a vote. "I choose I Will Always Love You by the original Queen, Whitney Houston," said Madison. "I choose Umbrella by the current Queen, Rihanna," said Hax. "I choose Sorry by the former Prince, Justin Bieber," said Dix. "I choose Never Grow Up by the current, former, and forever country queen, Taylor Swift," said Hooray. "And I choose all of them," said Chubbs. And so they did. They sang 4 songs simultaneously. They would provide vocals, chorus, and impromptu riffs, as all 5 of the Hip House 5 anything but seamlessly sang 4 songs to this child as he sat in bed staring at them, confused, while wearing Hydrox pajamas. The video got 1 million views within the first 10 minutes. By midnight, it was up to 25 million. The Hip House 5 had done it again. They all leaned in towards the child and said, "Good night," and then turned to the nearest camera.
Light flash, we hit the floor. Cash flow, we want some more. Feel the beat, let your body soar. Tonight we own the dance floor. It clicks, get paid, feel the vibe, feel the vibe. We party all night, come alive, come alive. It clicks, get paid, feel the vibe, feel the vibe. We party all night, come alive, come alive.
Hax was soup scrolling. Soup scrolling was what he called scrolling for supermodels who liked his videos while laying in bed after a long day of posting and roasting. There was a light tapping at his bedroom door. "Sup?" No response. Hax shook his head and rolled off his mammoth satin sheet bed and jogged to the door, opening it up and seeing the child, standing there, looking adorable in his Hydrox pajamas. Hax nodded immediately. "What up, little man?" For the first time since showing up at their front door, he spoke. "Will you play with me?" Aw, hell yeah, little bro. You want a soup scroll with me? Help me find a honey? The child shook his head no. No? All right then, what do you want to do, little man? The child took out a butcher knife that he had been hiding behind his back. Whoa, sick butch knife, bro. Want to chop some melons? The child shook his head no. No? All right then, what do you want to chop up, little bro? Hax's head was chopped clean off. It spun like a dreidel once it hit the ground, as blood squirted all over the white Persian rug. Hax's torso shook violently for a second before it fell to its knees and then toppled onto its side. Hooray was hash branding. Hash branding was a term Hooray coined. It meant when you make merch out of hashtags. His current hashtag, Support the Little Man, was gaining lots of traction online, and he was already hard at work designing women's pink underwear that said, Support the Little Man, on the backside in extremely small font. Ah! Hooray fell off his bed after turning to see that the child was standing on the bed nearby. Hooray sprung up, smiling. Damn, little man, you're like a ninja. That's dope. I like ninjas. What's up? Can't sleep? The child smiled and said, Will you play with me? I'd love to, little man, but it's late, and I gotta strike the hash brand while it's hot. You feel me? Maybe tomorrow we can go make mini merch that you can rock for my gram. How's that sound, little man? The child was pointing something at Hooray's face. He leaned forward. It was dark. He couldn't tell what it was at first. Then he finally did, smiling. Oh, word, little man. Is that my mini flamethrower? The child torched Hooray's face, melting it like a candle, as his skin and eyes dripped over his burning chest while his flailing body spun around in mad circle and eventually collapsed and formed a puddle of ash in the corner of his mammoth bedroom on his white Persian rug. Dix was giggling at himself. He had posted a video earlier from when he was pretending to be a turtle, crawling on the ground, slowly eating lettuce. He thought it was hilarious. Till he heard some light ruffling from nearby. He sat up. Hello? Very slowly crawling on the floor, like a turtle, was the child. Yo, you doing the turtle creep? Word! Dix hopped down onto the ground and started doing the turtle crawl towards the child. When they got within 5 feet, they both stopped. Wow, I'm like a father figure to you, huh? Like Papa and Baby Turtle. Creep it. That's what's up. The child smiled and said, Will you play with me? Dick smiled too and told him, Of course, Baby Turtle. I got you. The child stood up and swung a sledgehammer down on the back of Dix's skull, smashing it into 100 pieces as Dix's tiny catchphrase brains splattered all over the white Persian rug. Madison was lip-syncing herself to sleep. And I will always love you. Ah! Madison clutched her chest in fear, startled. Oh my God, you scared me, child. Standing there, covered in blood, was the child. Is that my ultra-foliating skin cream? The child shook his head no. Are you sure that is not my ultra-foliating skin cream? The child shook his head no. Listen, kid baby, just because we are like family now and you are like the child does not mean you can just take my ultra-foliating skin cream without asking, okay? You need to respect me. Am I making myself clear, kid baby? The child smiled and said, Will you play with me? Madison quickly shifted gears into ultra-loving. Oh my God, you're a door. I take it all back. I love you. Yes, 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 yes. Let's play. The child took out a chainsaw and started it up. Madison's eyes lit up, excited. Ooh, what game is this? The chainsaw smoothly sliced her in half, starting from the top of her skull. The right and left sides of her body fell down simultaneously onto the white Persian rug. Chubbs was swimming in sage. This was how they fell asleep. By laying in bed after the negative spirits had been vanquished using the Hip House Sage, which they had promoted as being imperative to sleeping in a positive environment. They swore by it. One of the first brands they had successfully marketed. Chubbs was drifting off into a silent slumber until their eyes opened. Is that gas? Chubb sat up. Standing at the other end of the room was the child. "Little one, have you come here for some snuggles?" The child shook his head no. "No snuggle wuggle duggles?" The child shook his head no. "Oh, so what do you want?" The child smiled and said, "Will you play with me?" "Oh, of course I will, little prince. Just as soon as I get my 16 hours of sleep. Come back then." The child took a match out and lit it. "Oh, wait, you get high? Oh my God, you're the best baby ever." The child tossed the match onto the white Persian rug, and the whole room was engulfed in flames. Chubb screamed as their bodies simmered and seared until they ran through the balcony doors and then off the railing and then down the 3 stories onto the pavement as their charred body oozed down the driveway like a melted s'more. The child took out his cell phone. He went from room to room, recording the path of carnage. Hacks, Hooray, Dix, Madison, and then out of the house, towards the driveway, Chubb's. All 5 of the Hip House 5, dead, in one stream. He posted it to his Snapchat. That night, everyone who watched it thought it was their finest work yet. The comments mostly concentrated on how real all of it looked. "This is their best video ever," was a common thread. It gained so much viewership overnight that Snapchat had to briefly shut down because it could not handle that much traffic. It was dominating social media. Oh, what sweet irony. This was the most famous they had ever been in their lives, but they weren't alive to witness it. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? To this day, it was the most viewed Snapchat post in the history of the app, beating out the previous record holder, DJ Khaled's son, by nearly 100 million views. When night became morning, the full staff arrived to see that the entire house had burned down, and that all 5 of the Hip House 5 had been murdered, brutally. Chef the trainer, Rain the chef, Esperanza the maid, Martin and Spike the cinematographers. They all looked at each other, trying to grasp the severity of their current reality. It took a minute, but the only question to ask in that moment was, should we call the cops?
Make cash, we don't crash. On the ground we go, flips up, we surpass. All the face we know, lights flash, got that stash. Everything for sure, they talk, they just trash. It's the money flow.